Okay, welcome to the Personnel Committee meeting for Monday, May 2nd, 2022. In accordance with the requirements of the meeting law, please be advised that this meeting is being recorded and will be able to be found on Lunenburg Access YouTube channel after the meeting. The agenda lists all the topics which may be discussed at the meeting and are those reasonably anticipated by the chair. Votes may be taken as a result of these discussions. Not all items listed may in fact be discussed, and other items not listed may also be brought up for discussion to the extent permitted by open meeting law. All right, so to begin the meeting with is there anyone on the committee who would like to offer some public comment? Nothing, all right. Anyone from the public? Okay. So the next item is approval of the minutes from April 6, 2022.
Make a motion to approve the April 6th meeting minutes.
I'll second that. Any discussion before we vote?
We're doing that. Sometimes folks will come work in Pittsburgh doing the kind of work that you're doing, and they won't realize that a license is necessary. We appreciate you.
Multitasking.
All right, so all in favor of approving the minutes? Donna?
Aye.
I work with the company Sunrun, I'm sure.
Aye.
Joanna, okay. Wendy?
Aye.
And Eric is an aye. All right. What do we need? We need at least 3 for a quorum, right? And we have 4 tonight, so we're in the bonus.
Good.
All right.
I entered the turf.
Next item is
Let's do the new hire form.
yeah. So we're passing over the assistant library director for now, and the
Yes.
new hire form for director of public works. And go ahead, Julie. You're recommending.
Yeah, we're recommending William Bernard at a grade 16, step 5. He has over 30 years of civil engineering, of which 28 years included snow and ice operations for Mass DOT. So with his extensive engineering knowledge, we felt that he would be a good fit for the department.
All
I
right.
want to say this is a very professional resume. Nice to see.
Just a quick question. When will he be starting? Do you have a date?
We are aiming at May 16th. So next Tuesday, we'd like it to go in front of the select board and then have him start that following Monday.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Excuse me, Julie, could you just say his name again? I'm sorry.
William Bernard,
Thank you.
B-E-R-N-A-R-D.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Has someone been, I assume someone's been acting as the director in the interim here?
Heather.
Okay.
Yeah. But I think, in the staff in the DPW themselves have all pitched in and have, had to take on additional responsibilities in absence as well.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we approve the hiring at the director.
Working in Pittsburgh, it's called
I'll make that motion.
Eric made the motion. Joanna, you second?
Yes, please.
Roll call?
Aye.
Yeah, just got kicked off for a second.
You're back.
Okay, so we were taking a vote and I heard Joanna say aye.
Yep.
Andy,
Aye.
Donna,
Aye.
and Eric's and I. Okay. So the only other item on the minutes anyway, is the kind of discuss our ongoing business of discussing the SAP plan compensation, basically the salary grid for after this year. What we're hoping to, what we'd do, if anything. And actually, before we even dive into that, tell me this Saturday. A few words. Heather asked for a couple of any kind of key points that we wanted to say. So I was working on that, but if any of you wanted me to say anything specific or any key points you definitely think should be made.
Is it me or are we losing him? Yes, we're losing. It's me.
We're losing him. I kept
Okay.
thinking it was me,
Me
but
too.
it's definitely Eric. Eric, if you maybe go off of video, it might help your audio.
Because he's always busting on my internet connection at home.
Well, and that's why I went off of video, because
Yeah.
I figured it was me.
Yeah. I know, that's, I'm like, I'm not sure if it's me or if it's him.
Is this any better?
Yeah, not so robotic.
Yep.
Okay.
So can I ask a question about Saturday's town meeting?
Yep.
Will we see what the handout will be, or is that already gone out? No, people don't have that in their hands now for the SAP, right, Julie?
No, the town warrant went out.
Sorry, the bylaws are, that's not part of Saturday?
That's not part of that town warrant, but
Perfect, okay.
I'm not
Okay.
sure at this point if they're gonna, I would think that they're gonna have the copy of the SAP. I
The
could be wrong.
bylaws?
I could be wrong. Don't quote me. I've seen the warrant and I've seen the salary grid in there, but I didn't see our marked up version.
I'm gonna go look. I had the warrants here.
I know the salary grid is almost, I don't know, second to last page.
Barb, did you have something to say?
No, that was exactly what I need. I have the warrant, but I don't have it right with me. So as long as it's in the warrant, I wanted to be able to look at it. That's all. Thank you.
I think I brought mine home. Should be online as well. Let me look.
You're looking for the marked up version of the SAP or?
I found it. It is in the warrant. The SAP is there with the steps and such. I wasn't
grid.
sure. The grid, yeah, the grid.
Yeah,
I wasn't sure if the bylaws that we went through were part of the town meeting stuff or not.
right. Believe that it is. I just didn't see it in the warrant. So it might be an article, one of our within our article, and there might be a separate packet.
So the reason for my
Unless they-
ask is,
Yeah, I was saying
I
unless it's
wanted,
projected.
yeah, I was hoping that we might be able to see exactly what was given out before the town meeting. Just to be prepared.
Let's see.
There is a tracked copy online, but I'm not sure it's from the beginning, Julie, or if it's just from the last meeting.
Online,
On
Where?
the town's website, if you
Yep.
scroll
Oh,
down
so-
for town reports and information,
So the public
is-
can see that?
yes.
Okay,
But I'm
perfect.
not sure if that's from the beginning or is it from the last meeting of the personnel committee?
I would think it would be from the last one. I didn't upload it. So I'm thinking that's probably what Heather has, and she probably uploaded it for info. Let me see. Let's see if she'll be able to respond. Can move on for now. And if I get an answer before we're done, I will let you know.
So according to the two articles are the SAP wage schedule article and then the SAP law amendment articles. Yeah, they're both.
Yeah, so if you go, it says Article 22 Amendments to Salary Administration Bylaw. It's the whole bylaw right there online. So I don't know, Barb, if it's the same place you saw it. I went to, I just typed in warrant. And then up, search results, it was the second one.
I'm on the Lunenburg, sorry, lunenburgma.gov, and you scroll down past where it says town meeting and town finances. It's under news and announcements, and it does give you a lot of the backup behind the articles on the
Yeah.
warrant.
So do you see
Yep.
like it starts with FY 2023 capital plan presentation?
Yep.
And
Yep.
then the very last one is the district map, watershed protection district map.
Right.
Yeah,
And then
so we're in the
third one
same
up.
spot. Yep. Yeah.
Third
and
one
that's
up is the amendments to the bylaw.
Okay. So I'm sure this will be projected overhead at the meeting.
I mean, they're not gonna give printed copies of this to everyone, are they?
No, I think it'll probably just be an overhead projection.
All right, well, I guess the main thing would be how we want to proceed on the next, salary grid a year from now. Do we have a specific goal in mind of revising it to less grades or more steps and less grades? Or, I think that would be the main thing. And then what information are we going to use to properly reclassify any job titles to this new grid? I think those would be my main questions. Could you guys hear me at all?
Yes.
Okay.
My question is just also possibly making a separate grid for the intermittent seasonal employees so that the, department heads, people that have been here forever aren't lumped in with the same as someone hired on a seasonal basis. So that when we go to do an increase, if we're not increasing people that have just been hired for the summer. We're hiring. That's just my input, sorry. I would just like there to be a separate grid. That's my request.
You saying that, Barb, because that save the town money.
Save the town money, is that what you said?
Is that the reason for doing that?
It's just, I think it's fair, you're looking at a certain class of employees on the SAP when you're trying to figure out what their classifications, well, I mean, the study has to be done on all employees, obviously. But as far as trying to figure out increases for FY '24 and '25, I think you could take a look at people that are permanent employees versus the intermittent. That's all. And it just needs to be done early in the process, in the year, so that Heather has those budget numbers early, like December of 2022. So it needs just to be addressed quickly.
When you say intermittent employees, I mean, I think of like snow drivers, maybe summer DPW workers that are maintaining, cemetery landscaping, stuff like
Right.
that. Is that what you're referring to?
A lot of that is, Julie, feel free to pipe in at any time, but I think those are mostly contractual. I was thinking more like lifeguards, pages, some
When you
on
say-
call.
Go ahead.
No, that's all.
Did you say pages,
Y-
like library?
Yeah, you just,
So they're year round, the library pages.
okay,
But
And
we do have the intermittent, for DPW, they are plow employees. So not the individual contractors. We do have one or two.
all right, yep.
And then the seasonal cemetery laborers.
Yeah.
And I
I
think
mean, I guess
lifeguards.
my thinking on that is that those types of employees are like, their pay is relative to their grade, and if it is a seasonal type position, they're actually at a lower grade. Doesn't that kind of address the issue you're talking about?
Well, I'm talking about like, to give us 2% at town meeting this year, you lump in all employees all together. Whereas it's your people that have been with you for 20 years that would like just a bit more attention, that's all, than the people that come for the summer.
This probably isn't the answer you're looking for, Barb, but I think that's where longevity comes into play to compensate those employees that have been with the town. That's something that the seasonal,
Right.
even if they, are there for 10, 15 years, it's not something that they'll receive. Where a
No,
permanent employee
I
would.
understand. Yeah, I understand longevity. That's a one-term thing to try to keep people that are valued, but to value them in the first place is to pay them a rate and not just a 2% when the world is going 8% on cost increases. That's all. I just feel like we can do the salary study on the intermittent. But when we're talking about across the board, let's give these people 2%. I just want to, I want you to separate the people that have been with you for a while and our department heads from the seasonal workers. That's all.
I guess the last thing I'd say about that is that the seasonal workers are not any percent increase. That's not contributing much to the impact on the budget. It would be percentage increases for all the impact on the budget is really driven by your longer term employees that are making a higher wage. So I don't think, if you're thinking that the seasonal employees are holding back on the percentage increase that longer term employees get, I don't think financially that would be the case, but Maybe Nancy has more info on that. Nancy?
I think the group that drives up the budget are the on-call firefighters, because there's about 35 of them. So when you give, the 2% to all of them, that does drive up the cost.
So, I mean, is the alternative that they don't get a raise?
No,
then?
I've just seen other communities that do have separate grids for seasonal or intermittent or on-call personnel. It's just
Okay.
an option.
That'd be good information to see. Like, I'm not familiar with that. So if there is any, towns that you could point us to look at what they do for those grids, I'd be interested in seeing that. Well, does anyone have any? I mean, so on the one hand, the logic of doing anything to the salary grid, one reason would be to kind of simplify it, which would seemingly put us more in line with what other towns do. Another reason would be, if you add more steps, that would be beneficial to some employees that have kind of maxed out on their steps. Are there other reasons that we are considering this? I mean, if there's not like good reasons for this, then maybe it just should stay as it is. But those are the ones that I'm aware of that I think we've discussed.
Agreed, Eric. Those reasons, as well as just really getting us in our primary steps. When we look at the meat of the grid, where the majority of employees are, bringing those more closely in line, more competitive with area towns that are comparable.
So right now we have 20 grades, 8 steps. If hypothetically, if we went to a model where there are 10 grades, 10 steps, would that make any sense to even consider, or were people thinking something different?
I can, Eric, I think, oh, go ahead.
Oh, no.
I was just gonna say, I think it might be hard for the new people, the new members of the committee to visualize that, because I know you and I, Donna, I don't know if you were on at that time when we kind of went through this a couple years ago and, participated at the initial meeting when we talked about chopping it down, if that can actually be determined at this point.
I've only been on the committee for less than a year.
It's been less than a year, so it's probably just Eric and I that have touched base on this previously. And I
Well,
think,
Sue was there too.
oh yeah, Sue, and she's just not here now, right? Right. So, I mean, I think we had talked, or you might have, or maybe I did, mentioned how we discussed, going to 10 grades, 10 steps, or 10 grades, 8 steps, or, whatever it was, trying to modify it in different ways. And this time around, when I was starting to present the salary survey, those communities were surveyed based on what they could contribute. So not every community has a position that's comparable to ours. So based on those surrounding towns, if you still have that chart from a few meetings ago, you'd be able to see what communities participated and for what positions that they could offer comps for. So I feel like that step has been covered.
One thing, Julie, you had mentioned and made a lot of sense is if we are going to consolidate grades
Mhm.
at all, we've really got to look at job descriptions and comparable responsibility.
Mhm.
And I think that would take us a little bit of time to look at that.
Yep. Yeah.
But creating more steps, particularly for those, one of the greatest concerns we have is how do we, retain our long-term employees, and additional steps, since we have many on our SAP, our long-term employees, that could potentially be something we look at. And I understand that that's not always going to be the case. But for the near future,
I think the other thing to think about, whatever we do come up with, you could take any position and you could say, well, our current employee in position A or title A makes X amount of dollars. And we think that title should be at grade 8, let's just say. And hopefully their current salary falls somewhere in grade 8, right? But then it's like, well, if they need to be at, let's say they're currently at grade, whatever grade they're at, let's say they're maxed out on their steps, does that mean that they automatically go, well, I guess I don't think it would mean this, but does it mean we just figure out where they would be in the new grid? So if it's grade 8, instead of being maxed out at, say, step 8 or step 10, maybe they're at grade 8, step 3, because that's where the appropriate hourly rate would be. I guess what I'm saying is people could be all over the place, right? I mean, someone could be at a grade 15, step 6 now, and then in the new one, they could be at grade 6, step 2, right?
Right. I think your methodology is there. I think it's just a matter of getting to that point. So for instance, like when we have a new job, a new position created, right? And we go through the new job description, we review that with the committee, right? And I may recommend a grade, and the committee might say, well, I feel like it's actually this. We just did that with, what position was that? Was it I don't think it was a library position, but it was, meal site manager.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we came in at recommending a lower grade than the committee decided. So I think, with the new positions as they're created, you get the comps from other communities, you're creating a job description, you're looking at the education level of this position. And I think we're classifying that based on, our surrounding communities, the information that was gathered, and plotting it in our current grid, which I think works, but I can't speak historically if it's always been like that. And where some of the job descriptions may be outdated, I think that's the point I'm trying to make, is where we need to really look at the job descriptions, make sure they're still accurate. What was maybe a grade 3 may have grown in 5, 10 years, and maybe it needs to be a grade 5 current. So my 2 cents, and I think Barb is trying to say something.
Go ahead, Barb.
Sorry. Mute myself. All I was just gonna try to save you all and see if there's, I know that the clerical union has talked about it and SAP has talked about it, but having a professional firm that does this so that you're not doing the legwork to compare the apples to oranges. So I didn't know if it's something that two units wanted to have addressed. I didn't know if it's something that the town could consider. That's all. Because it is a lot of work to try to figure out the descriptions and all the job responsibilities and all that. So I was trying to get you off the hook if the town would agree to it. But it would have to be budgeted, and that's the problem, because it's not cheap.
That is the problem. And the budget for 23 is,
Right, it would probably
Fine.
need, right, it would need to be
And-
done for a special town meeting, probably to get it done for FY24, and I'm not even sure how quickly that can be turned around. So
right, and
I'm
like you,
just
yeah,
putting it out there.
it's a great idea, but
Well, Julie, you have, I assume the town already has job descriptions for every position on the SAP, right?
I believe we do.
And the job descriptions right towards education requirement, right?
You're kind of breaking up, but I got the education requirement.
The job description, what level of education required.
Yes, I think some are more comprehensive than others.
Right, so wouldn't that be a starting place for us if we had all the job descriptions? That we kind of view them and start to classify them, even without knowing any dollar amounts, just placing them by grade, by what we
Yes.
think the grade should be.
Yes, ideally, that is how it would be done.
So is that, do you think you can share descriptions with sometime in the next couple of weeks?
Can I share the job descriptions? Anybody? Is that what he asked? Oh, we lost him. That's what he said. Okay. So I'm going to answer that even though he's not here. Of course I can.
Yeah, that's what he said.
I don't think they'll all come over in one email. So either we could do maybe, I don't know if a Dropbox style or if I just send a bulk in one email, a bulk in another email. I think another task of the job descriptions is making them uniform. You'll see the older format versus the newer format. I think that's something we might want to tackle as well. Let's wait for him to try to join us again.
Julie or Wendy or Donna, may I speak?
Yes.
Just while we're waiting for Eric, I wanted to put in my 2 cents that possibly not just education, but whether the position includes supervisory duties.
Oh, yeah. Yep, that's a section in there as well.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So scope, supervision, received, or if you have supervisory responsibilities within the position, yep. Work environment.
Right, but I'm talking about, Eric sounded like he wanted to start with that as the basis of the salary.
I couldn't fully understand, he was
study.
breaking up. I mean, I think
I know.
there's certain parts of the job description that have more weight than others.
Right,
Certain sections within everybody's job description.
Right.
Wondering if he's going to be able to get back in.
No.
Vice Chair, you want to take over? If she's here. Joanna? Do we have a quorum right now? There she is.
I am here. I could take over.
Correspondence.
If you have anything that you'd want to
Fact that Mully's is one of our.
contribute, or I don't know if anybody has Eric's cell
We had
phone.
some that have come in for places that were not licensed by us.
If he's going to try to join us.
So you may have had a chance to
just-
read that.
For me, I totally agree with categorizing. So the part-time, when we look at salaries, we look at raises, the part-time people aren't in that grouping of the full-time people. And I don't know if we could kind of do a matrix table that puts categories. So for example, and I'm just going to say, the finance director or the chief of police, chief of fire, usually are your higher bracket. Then you have, and then they're on a table, the same table, but they're at a higher step. And then the next below step would be your board of health and treasurer collector, those type of things. I don't know if that makes sense.
Then we put it to sleep. How's that? But I'm not sure. I'm not sure what to say.
Joanna, is it possible for you to turn the volume down on the other meeting? Because what we're here, I'm hearing both, you and that.
So that brings us to the time in our meeting when I asked that question.
This is Eric. I just called in since I was not having luck reconnecting.
Welcome back.
There was one thing that I wanted.
So I answered your question. I was saying, yes, I can send out the job descriptions. I don't think it'll make it all in one email, probably be a handful of different emails.
Yeah.
And then Barb had asked about, supervisor, and I said, yes, there's certain sections within a job description that has more weight than other sections when looking at it. This would honestly, and I don't know how you guys feel about this, be, I think it would flow better in person than through Zoom. I don't know how you feel about meeting in person.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing, that we got enough time that maybe we can schedule this. Well, we have our next meeting. What is it? June something?
Let me see.
June.
6th?
What do we say? First Monday of every month?
Yeah, June 6th at 6.
June
Barbara, I don't
6th,
know what your
be-
message means.
It's going to be tough for me to get I need some flexibility in being able to join a meeting in the summer months, especially if they're going to be monthly. If it's by Zoom, I could do it in New Hampshire if that's where I am at 6 o'clock, but I can't commit to necessarily being back here, showered, dressed, and being in person.
Would you be at that camp on as early as June 6th, or is that later?
I'm there now, 4 days a week.
Oh, okay, you're there.
So, yeah, we're
Getting
part of,
ready.
we're facilities. So, we're raking
Yeah.
leaves and cleaning cabins and all that. So, yeah, we're there.
All right. What if it was like later, like 7 o'clock or 7:30? I don't know how late we could go.
Yeah, that would be my next question. How late, if we time bound it and we meet a bit later, it would be better, because then I won't have to, if I'm on that day, I'm committed to 5 o'clock. That's the earliest I can leave there. Takes an hour to get here. So, that's kind of where my head is. But if we time bound it and we know if we meet at, at 6:30, say, and it's in person, and we're going to meet for 2 hours and we're done, then that's more manageable, I think.
Yeah.
I agree with that too. I mean, having kids that need to get ready for school the next morning, I'd like to not be heading back to Lunenburg at 7:30 at night and getting home at 10. But
Yeah, so
personal
Zoom would work.
situation.
Yeah, but Zoom would work better for you in that respect too, Julie, right?
It does in that respect. I feel like this is a lot of paper shuffling, that it's easier to just have a discussion in person, but yeah, I mean, whatever, just an idea, a thought.
Could we
Julie,
aim-
what's well, what is the maybe just every kind of member could just say what's the latest that they would want to meet on a Monday night? Julie, what were you saying there? What's the latest you'd want to meet?
Me, I mean,
Like end the meeting. Latest you'd want to end the
Meeting?
meeting.
like every month, or I mean, school's going to be ending mid-June, really, for me. So at that point,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter so much. I mean, I think 8:30 is a good ending time. By the time I get home, it's 9. I don't know. I like to be in bed for 10, but
Yep.
in a perfect world, that's what I would say. Not saying, we went to 9 or whatnot, but let's check with the members.
This is what
Um,
I'm sorry, Eric. I didn't mean to step on you.
go ahead, Wendy. Yeah.
I think 8:30 for me as well.
Okay. Donna.
Yeah, 8:30. And again, it's really about, being able to plan. So if I know I'm only on this call until 8:30 and I can count on getting off, right? That are other things if I need to do in the evening that I can do those things.
Joanna, what's the latest you want to end the meeting?
8:30, 9 o'clock, whatever is with the group, I'm fine with. Just as long as we make progress in what we're trying to do.
Yeah. What if we for the meeting in person?
Eric, can you say that again? I missed what you said.
Next. Schedule that for, it would be at 7:30 and then.
They wouldn't start till 7:30, is that what we're saying? And we're only gonna go to 8:30?
No, I don't think so. Eric,
No,
Could be.
I don't think so.
are you able to chat to us with the chat message?
No.
I think
Heard
he's on his
laughter.
phone.
He
He's
is
on his
now.
phone, so he's not
Oh, that's
online. So I don't think he can type into the chat.
Okay.
I,
All right, let's,
I was saying
Ah.
either start at 7:30, but end it by 8.
I think a 7:30 start is too late, personally. And 1
I-
hour is just not enough time.
Agreed on both counts.
Agreed on both.
I would say start 6:30, whatever we can do.
Yeah.
Go no later than 8:30. If we finish by 7:30, or if that's all we've had, we're tapped out, then at least we've got an hour in.
I think that Donna, was spot on with the 6:30 to 8:30. It gives a solid 2 hours. And what I would love to see us do is have, just whatever it is, two, even one manageable, bullet point and goal for that meeting. This is what we're going to tackle this meeting. And if we need to put in first, as we did tonight, an approval, that certainly doesn't have to take more than a few minutes. But I think first off, if we can create sort of some steps in the long-term goal, and then, look at what's manageable at each meeting.
That works for me.
Yeah, the 6:30 to 8:30 works for me.
And I just, sorry, I just want to confirm this is in person.
Yes, I don't know. I don't know if Eric answered. I couldn't hear.
Right. I
But
just want to
yes,
make sure.
Barb.
Okay,
in person.
thank you.
So June 6th, 6:30, in person, location to be determined. I'm thinking probably Ritter Building, but I will have to find out who meets where on Mondays.
And I'd love to see a clear sort of goal or, task to define step and grade where we're going, a number at least we're consolidating to. And if we're looking at, sort of the goal is to get rid of those first few steps so that we end up creating a little more space for longevity in employees. But I think that we really need to get clear with that before we're going to be able to move on with anything else.
I would probably recommend before even getting there, go through all the job descriptions, kind of do your lumping that way and see what do we end up with? How many piles do we have? Do we have 15? Do we have 12? So kind of do it that way.
Yes.
I might be able to share something to assist with the review of the job descriptions to help with kind of grading them.
That
so
would
to
be
speak.
fantastic.
So
Yeah, that would be great.
we lost Eric again. Thank God he's not host. We'd all be bouncing around.
I know.
So then we'll have job descriptions for review prior to next meeting.
Mhm.
Okay.
The only ones I can think of that we might not have. Scratch, I'm not even gonna guess. We'll look and see if we're missing any.
And I'll just add that Nancy had to get off because she was having connection issues also. It's just a bad night.
The clouds.
So do we need if we're gonna wrap, does someone else need to
I'll
step in?
accept a motion to adjourn till June 6th.
Do we need public comment? I think we're public
Yes.
comment for.
Any public board comment? Any public comment? Bob, you got anything to say?
Been saying it all along. Thank you though, Joanna.
All right, love.
Thank you all for letting me speak.
No, thank you for participating. It's a lot of effort to participate, and we thank you for it. Same with Nancy.
It's well worth it. Okay. Thank you.
So a motion,
A motion to adjourn at 6:52 PM.
Second,
roll call vote. Wendy,
Aye.
Donna,
aye.
I'm an aye. Julie, thank you for running this, taking all the minutes and sharing the job descriptions with us. I look forward to those.
All right, you got it.
All right, have a great evening, everyone.
Thank
Sorry
you.
I
Have a
was
good
in and out
evening.
of the call.
See you Saturday.
Night
Bye-bye.
all.
Bye.
Bye.